10th, 2020. The roll call is Alder Burnett.
Here. Here.
Alder Gerlach.
Here.
Alder Weary is busy at the moment. He's asked to pick up his son from basketball, but he'll be joining us shortly, so he's excused momentarily. And the chair, Alder Scannell, is present. I'll take a motion to approve our agenda.
I move that we approve the agenda.
Second.
Moved by Alder Gerlach, seconded by Alder Brunette. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? We have an agenda. I'll take a motion. Wait, am I going too fast? Good, okay. Motion to approve the minutes from our last meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Alder Brunette, seconded by Alder Gerlach. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Okay. Our minutes are approved. Okay, on to regular business. Number 1, consideration with possible action on the request by Michael and Holly Goza to purchase portion of the Mahon Creek Greenway for residential yard expansion purpose at 2100 Emmeline Drive, parcel 21-8116.
I would recommend that we go into closed session to talk about ongoing negotiations for that parcel. And it's up to you if you want to talk about anything in advance, though.
I've got nothing. I might say anything from any of the other alders wish to speak before we go into closed session?
Now I move we go into closed session.
Okay,
Second.
moved by Alder Gerlach, seconded by Alder Burnett. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, if, Alder Gerlach, you made the motion. You get to read
It's
it.
so tiny on this screen. I'm going to try.
Can't you make it?
I can't. I
Oh, okay.
can't. Oh man. Now I might. Let's see. Okay.
Well,
Try.
I can.
The committee may convene in closed session pursuant to section, I think it says 19.85 sub 1E, Wisconsin statute for purposes of deliberating on negotiating the sale of public properties, investing of public funds, or conducting other specified public business as necessary for or bargaining reasons. The committee will therefore thereafter reconvene to open session pursuant to section 19.85 sub 2 Wisconsin statutes to take action on items discussed in closed session, if appropriate, and to consider the remainder of the agenda.
So
Okay.
for those of you who are here for the meeting who aren't part of this discussion, I will be placing you in a waiting room while we're in closed session, and then when we're done talking about item 1, we will resume back in session, and then I will admit you back into the meeting. So give us a few minutes to go through that process, please. Now back in open session. You'll have to make a motion to go into open session, though.
Yep. Motion to go into open session, please.
So moved.
Oh, second.
Okay, move to go into open session by Alder Burnett, seconded by Alder Gerlach. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we are now in open session. Take a motion.
Oh, I move that we direct the staff to proceed as directed in our closed session.
Second.
Okay, motion by Alder Gerlach, seconded by Alder Brunette. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, that passes unanimously. And we're on to informational. Director?
Yeah, if you could just list the agenda item, please.
Okay, sir. Right, it's not. Staff update on fat tire biking at Henisra Park.
For this one, I'll have James give a brief presentation or discussion about the steps we've gone through so far with monitoring fat tire biking at Henisra Park.
All right. So as we all of a sudden had real winter show up here the last week finally, gave us a chance to have a true test of this trial period. So I'll run through kind of some of the updates since our last city council meeting on January, I believe it was 19th. And that's when we started that next day on starting with some of these updates and figuring out some of this. So staff has continued to improve trail signage and also monitor usage of the park and also create solutions for the issues that have been brought forward. So trailhead maps and signage have been revised for a clear understanding of the trail system and uses. So now we've defined the two cross-country ski trails and marked them with purple arrows, which are considered kind of beginner, and green arrows, which are considered intermediate skiers because of some of the challenges with those trails. Signage has been put up to identify ski-only portions of trails. And it does appear that foot traffic appears to be less in these areas, but there is still at times foot traffic on some of the cross-country ski trails. But since we had them groomed, it has gotten better. Bike traffic appears to be staying on the orange trail as designated for bikes. New color-coded maps and more signage is being installed. It started last week. I believe this week we're still continuing to install some better signage at different areas, which essentially at every entry point we can possibly put signage where somebody would enter, and then throughout the park there's various signage also. There's been requests for larger yield signs to be installed at the trail intersections, and this will be accomplished during the summer at this point.
James, you went muted all of a sudden. You muted yourself somehow. Or someone muted you.
Try it now, James.
At what point did I get muted? Am I muted still?
Just a second ago.
Okay.
So,
All right. So let's see. Rerouting to the Orange Trail near the Fox Den has been identified, and that can be implemented during the summer of 2021. This reroute and any further trail work would use a distance of 30 feet from any existing fox dens. So foxes do create new dens, and any new den construction will not warrant trail reroutes, as staff will defer to the fox for their desired comfort distance from an existing trail. So essentially what I'm saying is foxes adapt, and they will make new dens according to what they feel comfortable with. In general, trail conditions have held up well now that we actually have winter and we've had some opportunity with some snow. The biggest observed concern with trail usage is for the cross-country skiers. So the ski trails are being used by walkers, and grooming efforts have been ruined by some foot traffic. Like I said, recently it's gotten a little better due to the fact that we actually have some better opportunity with the snow, and then we had the freeze, which actually froze our groomed trails in a little better for cross-country skiers, so that has helped. Staff has had discussions about identifying a possible foot traffic specific trail. So for hikers and walkers, we're looking to identify if there's some opportunity to identify a separate trail for only hikers and walkers, as to delineate from each user group, so they each have their own use of a trail. Other trail systems have also opened up to winter riding now, so the number of organized group rides has decreased, and this was anticipated to happen once the reforestation camp reopened after the November gun hunting season, as well as some of the other golf courses and other areas that have opened up more trails for use of fat tire bikes. Staff met remotely with the Greater Green Bay Active Communities Alliance on February 3rd and discussed the desire for community input regarding fat tire biking at Henisra and elsewhere on the west side of Green Bay. Staff is also exploring other areas on the west side of Green Bay for fat tire biking. And Parks will look at areas with at least the capability of having a 1.8 mile loop or similar range as a starting point for mileage when looking at other locations. So the 1.8 miles is currently the length of the bike route at Hinestra. So we're going off that for guidance into what possible sites could be on the west side for future fat tire biking opportunities. November 4th, it was reported back again by staff that bike traffic is about 95% on the orange loop only. And on the same day, unfortunately, a lot of walking, running tracks were found mostly on all the groomed trails. So evidence of snowshoe and bike trails adjacent to one another was found. So people are starting to, even newer users are starting to recognize and see the new signage and understand the way to utilize the trails without hopefully affecting each user group negatively. We created a trail link for updates and trail conditions to report on our website. And then we are also in the process of putting together a committee, or focus group with community members from each of the user groups, as well as the neighborhood and community at large residents to gain a better understanding of how the trails are being used and the best course to continue use. So within the next couple weeks, we'll actually start meeting with these groups and have also the opportunity for public input over the next couple months. So that's what we've done since that last meeting.
Any questions?
James, if I could, Chairman,
Yep.
the motion at the council meeting was not to have any permanent or hard to reverse changes to the vegetation and natural, plant life. That hasn't been done, obviously. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yep. We are, like I said, we are kind of looking into potential long-term, if we were to do different trails for different users. We're looking into kind of the big picture on how to reroute trails potentially and things like that, if that's the route that you want to go when it comes to the May 15th decision on how to proceed. But we have not made any changes as you requested.
And you'll, reach out, you said the neighborhood group, the Friends of Hinestra has a Facebook page. You'll kind of engage with anyone who's been in. I can help make those connections, but I want to make sure that all these conversations include that group.
Yes, absolutely. So that group, as well as the Fat Tire group, as well as there's a cross-country user groups that would like to be involved in the conversation, as well as some local residents of the neighborhood I've discussed this with, and then also there's a couple at large. So I see a committee or a focus group of approximately maybe 6 to 8 people that from each of the user groups that will have input and collaborate on kind of the best course of action going forward. But we'll also plan on having a kind of public input meeting at large for anybody to be involved with that has any other comments within this next couple months.
Yeah, I would definitely encourage May 15th, right shortly after that, when the trial, quote unquote, trial period. We can do the same sort of format we used in December. Send the invitations out and have just a regroup. So, but Chairman, I don't have no other questions other than to ask you to have this on the agenda every meeting, kind of like what we have been doing. So, thank you.
Alder Gerlach?
I just want to say thank you to James for all that work. That was a lot of work to do since January 19th. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, but we have a good staff. Our staff we have somebody from Parks, Forestry, our design and development. So we have staff from each of those areas that are really active in trying to make, everything work out here. So.
Okay, good, thanks. I'll take a motion to receive and place on file.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Alder Brunette, seconded by Alder Gerlach. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, that is received and placed on file. We're on to the director's report.
So the Wildlife Sanctuary was once again chosen as a participant in the 2021 Give Big Green Bay campaign, sponsored by the Greater Green Bay Community Foundation and the Green Bay Packers. So we were chosen last year. This is our second year in it. It's a great fundraising opportunity for the Wildlife Sanctuary. And the event will be held from noon to noon on February 16th through the 17th. So, yeah, feel free to donate or reach out to others and let them know about it. So it's a great opportunity.
Super.
Over at the Metro Boat Launch, we recently purchased an automatic pay station, which we hope to install in about 2 to 3 months. And the system will be similar to pay stations at other county-owned boat launches, so there'll be some consistency between the launches. We feel that this system will make it easier for the user, and it'll also simplify payment systems for our staff. Also, the DNR has approved a 3-year permit extension for the shoreline project at Bay Beach Amusement Park. This will allow us a little more time for the water levels to recede a little bit before we build the sand beach. So that buys us a little more time from a permitting standpoint with that project. Ice rinks are now up and running. We have all the hockey rinks up and running and a few auxiliary rinks. We did focus on a few less rinks this year just because we had a very short window of opportunity for ice rinks, and we had to focus on the ones that really get the most use. So we have rinks at Edison, Red Smith, Beaver Dam, Colburn, Perkins, Astor, Atkinson, and McAuliffe Park. Triangle Hill, now with the snow, we're able to open up Triangle Hill, so we'll be open this weekend when the temperatures come up a little bit more. And hopefully that'll be pretty successful and we'll get a lot of people there. Preparation for spring and summer activities in the parks have begun. So registration has opened up for many of our sports that are coming up this spring. And we've begun the hiring process for the pools, recreation programs, park maintenance workers, and also Bay Beach staff. And then finally, the 4K students at the Wildlife Sanctuary will return in person to school starting on March 1st. So we're being consistent with the schedule for the Green Bay Public Schools, and we are giving parents the choice to be in person or continue with virtual learning. So there are a handful of families that would like to continue with virtual learning, but most of the students, it seems as though they're going to be coming back. So that concludes my report.
Thank you. Very good. Any questions? Alder Gerlach?
Yes, please. If you can answer these quickly for me, just pure ignorance on my part. Under Bay Beach Amusement Park, what is JOLT and what is Rec Track?
So those are programs that we use for scheduling and scheduling our staff and also scheduling different events. So JOLT is really a staff scheduling software program. And I know we've mentioned that a few times in our division report, but it's a program we recently got at several of our facilities. And I think last year or the year before was the first year we implemented it at Bay Beach. And it's really saves us a lot of time and coordination for scheduling. And RecTrack is a similar program for scheduling events and the public signing up for it.
Okay, thanks.
Alder Steuer?
Thank you, Chair. Director Ditchett, you mentioned about that pay station over at the Metro Boat Launch. Was that something that was, how was that paid for? Was that already, that had been approved or what?
Yeah, we're using the existing money from the Metro Boat Launch maintenance account. So the funding that we receive on a yearly basis from revenues with launch passes, that's what's paying for it.
So, and the rates are going up too, aren't they?
Yes,
That you know of?
that was approved at budget time, that the rate slightly went up
All
to
right.
match all of the other county launches.
Well, I'll talk to you and Director Grenier as well, because I know that, you have the parks and Public Works at that spot, and, there's a few things. So I'll discuss that at another time.
Sure.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll take a motion to receive and place on file.
So moved.
Second?
Moved by Alder Brunette, seconded by Alder Gerlach. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That is received and placed on file. Thank you once again. Great report. And the next Parks meeting is at February 24th. Same time, same bat station. And take a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
I second it.
Okay, motion to adjourn by Alder Burnett, seconded by Alder Gerlach. All in favor? Aye. Okay, opposed? Okay, great job, everyone. Thank you. And Alder Weary texted me. We'll start INS at 6.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
So, thanks, Dan. Great job.